If you have this feeling in your gut, this isn't enough. I was meant for more. I was meant to do bigger things in life, but you're paralyzed with questions, then this is for you. I'm 49 now. 18 months ago exactly, I changed careers from real estate developer to business coach. That was my third time starting from scratch as an entrepreneur. Here are the 5 questions I had to ask and answer before I could move. It literally took me 6 months. If you're struggling with fear and you're paralyzed with those same questions, this is going to help you. Okay, let's get started with question number 1. So what fears did you have? I had plenty, but the 4 big ones in my mind were: number 1, what are people going to say? Do I look stupid? Do people believe my message? Do I look like an idiot? Do I look ugly in front of the camera? Because one of the things I had to do in the beginning was that I had to face the camera. I had to learn how to talk to people, record my video so that I could convey my message to everybody. And the funny thing is that if I'm deeply honest, it was my deep insecurity, because back in the day, I was always the guy who wanted to fly under the radar. I was anonymous. I had to face my own insecurities. But what helped me was that I asked myself, is this something, building a brand, being online, and documenting my life and trying to grow another business, something that I would regret at 90 if I didn't do it now? And the answer was so clear. Yes, I had to do it. And since I'm curious by nature, I wanted to see if I can really get good at this. I wanted to test myself, how good I can be at the end of the day. The fear number 2 was that, do I have the right skill set? And this is a funny one. If you think about confidence in life, I had plenty of confidence when it comes to fitness. I've been training for 30 plus years. I can go into any commercial gym in the world and I know the equipment, I know what to do, and I guess I'm in the upper 25% at least when it comes to people and their condition, right? So I have confidence in that domain because I put in the reps. Confidence comes from the past. Same thing with skills. Of course, I had the imposter syndrome in the beginning. Everybody does. That's a given. But then what really helped me was that I knew that I had proof. I had a proof of concept as far as putting in the reps and getting better. I didn't know if this was going to ever work, my new career or my new business. But I had confidence in my ability to get better. And that really got me over the hump. Fear number 3 was, am I ever going to make money? Okay? And this is a tough one because we all have to pay bills. But I had a business that went up to 5 million in revenue. My bottom line was probably roughly at the 400K level when I hit my record revenue. I did it basically by myself, by outsourcing all the functions and just having a one-man company. So that was really my North Star, my benchmark. But I had to already, because of my personal struggles in life, I had to cut ties to all outcomes and end results in order to be happy and not really stare at that end result and outcome and define my happiness and my success based on that. And I knew that if I was good enough, at the end of the day, the money would follow. So I just basically concentrated on adding value in people's life and getting better. Fear number 4, am I a quitter? This was probably the biggest one for me, to be honest. It's so deep in my DNA to keep pushing and trying to get better and just keep banging your head against the wall until you go through. And I'm not a quitter in any way, but rephrasing this thing in a way that there are no winners or losers in life. There are only quitters and players. And then I was like, okay, I can pivot. As long as I stay in the game, as long as I don't quit as an entrepreneur, I'm going to be fine. Because I don't want to be seen as the guy who basically always looks at grass being greener on the other side of the fence. So that was really a big one for me. I didn't want to hop from one opportunity to another. Question number 2, how much money did you make or do you make? I already mentioned that my real estate company, I was able to scale it up to 5 million / 400K net profit. And then in the beginning when I started, obviously I didn't make any money. And the first 6 months, what I did was that I literally started working for free. This is the same way I have started every single company in the past, whether it was my first company after leaving corporate in the US or when we moved back to Europe, the second one, and now the third time. So I always started working for free. And the idea behind that is that, okay, so work for free and get testimonials, get reviews, create proof. And then once you have that proof, then you start marketing that. At least you can tell then, or then you know if you can add value and help people in their lives. So the first 6 months really was zero revenue for me. What helped in my case was that I had savings and I had some real estate rental income on the side that comes all the time. But it's not going to last forever, meaning I need to be able to make this work. After 6 months, after I had worked with several people, because many of my first videos created enough attention that I was able to talk to people and then convert that attention into clients. So first 6 months for free, the second 6 months I started making money, and then the last 6 months, if I divide this 18 months into 6 month kind of like buckets, if you will, the last 6 months has been tough. So roughly my monthly revenue is at 2,000 plus right now. It's not where it's supposed to be, because in the beginning when I started getting attention, I was attracting the wrong audience a little bit. So nowadays I talk to men 40 plus about their business, work, relationships, and fitness and health overall. So I'm kind of like the life architect, if you will. And in the beginning it was a little different. So now I'm actually trying to retrain the quote unquote algorithm to make sure that I target the right avatar and the target audience all the time. But it's been a struggle the last 6 months. So I'm not really making any money to say that this is a business yet. But I know that if I create content and if I can create enough attention by creating content, then I can start converting the attention. And my goal is to build a community of like-minded individuals where people would be able to talk to each other and then get the learnings from there. And that would be able to, that would be the thing that starts to snowball in the right direction. That's my plan, at least. I don't look at revenue, I look at net profit. I'm far from my previous record of 400K a year, but let's see how it goes. This is the channel where I document that. Okay, that was question number 2, how much money did I make? Question number 3, what skills did you need? Okay, so I already talked about the confidence part. That comes from the past when you put in the reps. But other than that, I looked at myself. Of course, I had the imposter syndrome in the beginning, like everybody. Who's gonna pay for my services? Who's gonna talk to a guy who looks like me and who doesn't have anything on his CV? Nobody knows his name or face or anything. He doesn't have a brand. It's a tough uphill battle because the previous businesses have all been local. Maybe I've competed against 30 or 50 other builders or real estate developers in the local market. Now I'm actually for the first time launching a so-called global business. Competition is fierce, it's ridiculous. You are exposing yourself to global competition, meaning people have the best processes, the best brain capital and so forth. So it's really tough. But as far as the skills go, my whole thing was based on my life experience. I did my first reset as a 19-year-old when I moved to the US for the first time without ever having been to the country and whatnot. So I had my track record of doing things that required a lot from me. I exited my comfort zone already in the beginning. Then I started mapping my own life. I had a divorce, I had a difficult breakup. I've started a company from scratch 3 times, literally without any clients or anything, like a new industry and a new domain and whatnot. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna package my experience and this is it. That has to be enough. That was basically 50 or 60% probably. Then I knew that I had to get better when it comes to personal development and business coaching as well. And I spent pretty much 2 or 3 years really reading a lot of material, watching videos and trying to get better so that I could literally help my clients. And then the last missing piece was understanding how this new game, this social media game works. How do I create attention by creating these videos, making these videos? And that was really the hardest part for me. So that was the skill set. But we all in life, so this is for you if you are thinking about a similar career change, whether going from corporate to corporate or from corporate to business. I think we all have so many unique capabilities and skills. We just have to find them and trust in our ability to monetize that. Question number 4, how much effort does it really take? Well, it requires everything you have and then some. I work 7 days a week, literally. Today is Saturday, it's almost 6 p.m. I'm in Spain, I'm in a different environment. Why am I here? I put myself in a different environment so that I would behave differently. I eliminate all the distractions and all the noise so that I can focus on work. But really the most important thing, in my opinion, is the motivation part and being able to do those things that you truly love. I keep telling my own kids all the time that, look, find those areas in life that are of deep interest to you. Where are your passions? And maybe you're 16, 17, or 19, or 20, whatever your age is, or even us adults, 40s. We don't really necessarily know, but dig deeper and go blindly after those interest areas. Don't do anything else because it requires so much, especially if we talk about entrepreneurship, launching a new business, literally starting from scratch in a new domain, in a new industry, maybe in a new country, that it takes all you have, and you can't have several focus areas. The older I get, the more I understand how much effort it really takes to get good at something. And since I'm better at understanding now, I also understand that I really can't afford to do anything else. This is something I want to do. I want to work on Saturday night. And I don't feel like working because I do something that I truly enjoy and love. I think work to me is something we have to do. And then business and work should be something that we absolutely love. I would do this even if I didn't get paid. I did this in the first 6 months without getting paid at all. And I enjoyed it. I look forward to all the coaching calls with my clients. I look forward to recording these videos, even though these are still kind of, they cause some anxiousness in my mind, so to say, and I get nervous beforehand. I think that's normal, but I still enjoy talking to the camera and delivering my message, documenting my life. So it requires everything you have, so better make sure that you actually do what you love. Last question, how long is this gonna take? This is the last one I asked from myself. I look at it this way, I think it takes 10 years to get really, really good at something in life. And I'm 18 months in, a little over actually. And I told myself in the beginning that this is probably gonna be a 5-year journey. And let's see what happens after 5 years. I don't know. I felt that probably I would be able to expedite my learning curve a little bit because I didn't start at zero. And I felt that I had enough charisma, enough war stories, and enough learnings and lessons that I would be able to teach those or convey those messages to my clients and maybe get something going. I don't know, I could be completely wrong. But here's the thing, I always get what I deserve. So that's why I don't worry about the end result. Because if I'm good enough, I get what I deserve. As long as I enjoy this, I keep going. And after 5 years, maybe I have a community that scales and that makes money and I enjoy what I do. But really the bottom line is that I have to be able to do those things that I truly enjoy. After I quit corporate, and I truly enjoyed corporate too, but the last couple of years were difficult for me. But for the last 15 or 16 years, I haven't done anything that I don't truly enjoy. I don't plan on doing that ever again in my life. I've worked so hard that I can be in a position, remain in a position where I get to do the type of stuff that I enjoy. That's why I wanted to build this business that's not tied to any location. I can travel in the wintertime, I can be in Spain, I can be in Florida, I can be somewhere else, but it requires a lot of effort. So how long? I told myself 5 years to really monetize and 10 years to be really good at it. But of course it depends on what you want to do. It's tough to say how long. It takes as long as it takes. It doesn't really matter. That's what I had. So my fears, whether I look stupid, do I have the skills, am I going to make money, or am I a quitter if I pivot from real estate to coaching? Those were the things that I suffered with or suffered from in the beginning. What are the ones that are hard for you? Do you ask yourself how much effort it takes? How long it's going to take, or if I'm going to ever make any money? Let me know in the comments below. I would like to answer and have a conversation and dialogue with you guys. But these were the 5 questions I asked from myself when I changed careers. It took and it takes everything I have, but I enjoy it tremendously. I'm living the dream, even though there are days when it's super, super hard. But I hope these questions and answers gave you more context. Maybe it's going to push somebody over the edge, so to say, to the other side. But remember that fear is normal. Everybody has that. People who get the results at the end of the day, they are the ones who just keep taking action. And they understand confidence comes from the past. You're not supposed to have confidence in the new thing that you're doing. That's not a reason for you not to start. So don't slow yourself down. Okay. I enjoyed this. Thanks a lot. And as I said, let me know which one of these fears, or do you have your own, that is a true bottleneck for you. Let me help. Thanks, and talk to you later in the next video.